Hey everybody, what's going on? It is V-Dub here, and welcome back to the Indiana Hoosiers Dynasty here on YouTube for College Football 25. And in this episode, we are going to have our first update in how the recruiting has been going for the Hoosiers and trying to set up Coach Dubman's first recruiting class as the head coach of Indiana. So we're going to ready to take a deep dive and update you on how some of the prospects are faring and how the races are going so far to try to get some of these prospects. At first, I kind of wanted to tell you guys there are a few players that locked us out, and then players that we had to take off the board because there were higher prestige schools that offered before we did. First, the teams that have locked us, players that have locked us out: halfback Malcolm Ferris, right guard Desmond Brown, Paul Carter the right end, left outside linebacker Ben Given, Travis Tiffin, I believe, the free safety, as well as Nick Linderbaum, the strong safety. They locked us out. And teams that we've had to take off the board because higher prestige schools have offered before we did. Wide receiver Rashad Everett, who got a Notre Dame offer actually right before the game against Notre Dame, the game that you just saw, game that we were in until the second half. So we have Rashad Everett has taken off, followed by Carmona, the right end. Carmona was offered by Kentucky, which is a 3.5-star school. And then who was offered, the strong safety, was offered by Wisconsin, a 4-star school. But now that we got that taken care of, let's talk about some of the teams that we've added over the last couple of days. We have quarterback Adrian Brent, 3-star. Again, we can recruit up to 3 stars since we are a 2.5-star school. Nobody has offered him anything yet, and he has us at number 5 right now on his top 8. Then we have Juan Atwell. Again, nobody else is offered. He has us at number 5 on his list. Followed by Marshall Roach, who actually has us as his final 5. Unfortunately, we do not have enough hours to get him to schedule him a visit, as he is scheduled to visit Akron in week 10. But now going back to the top of the list now, those that still remain, Zach Ornstein has this as number 1. The quarterback has this as his top school over Purdue, and we gave him an offer already. Followed by LaMichael Azmua, the halfback out of Mishawaka, Indiana, has us as number 1. We have yet to offer him yet, but we will pretty soon once we get the hours in. Steve Moncrief has moved us up to number 1. Western Michigan has offered him, but we're number 1 on his list. We're hoping to get enough hours not only just to offer, but try to get some of these players visiting. Javier Wilson has us as number 1, the fullback out of Kentucky. He has us ahead of Northwestern, Kentucky, Purdue, and Miami of Ohio. Dennis Breeze has us as his top school as well, out of Brookville, Indiana, the wide receiver. Taylor Puget from Illinois, wide receiver, deep threat wide receiver, actually has us as number 1. Robert Hickson has us as number 1. However, Western Kentucky, the number 2 team on his list, has offered him a scholarship but not offered him a visitation yet. So, as Sergio Sabri has us as his number 2 school, we offered him already. Michigan State also ahead of us. He's been offered by them. They've offered him as well, but he has us as number 2. He's already had his final 5, by the way. So, let's hope that we stay in his top 3 in the coming weeks. And now looking at the offensive lineman, our right tackle Garrison Saunders has this as number 1. Miami of Ohio, though, is creeping up and has actually offered him already a scholarship already. So we're going to have to try to figure out how to get him. Melvin Cleland, again, number 1 honor school, but also just like Saunders in the right tackle, they're also pursuing, I guess they also need some offensive line help. They also have Miami of Ohio has also offered him as his number 2 school choice. Indiana on top. As I said, when we start getting the hours coming back again for scholarship-wise, we will be offering. Joseph Rust has his as his number 1 school, ahead of Kentucky Northwestern, Toledo, Michigan State, Cincinnati, Purdue, and Miami of Ohio. He has his top 8 already. He's locked Rutgers out. And now let's look at defensive tackle Lamar Crick has us as his number 1 school to this point. Nobody else has offered him either. We're looking forward to trying to offer him. Cedric Beckner has us as number 3, Northwestern and Michigan State, who, by the way, are just not around the same prestige as we do. That is the reason why we have not taken him off the board just yet, even though they have offered him and Indiana is number 3rd on his list. We're going to try to get him to offer, try to get him to visit as well. Jeff Frost has this as number 1. I mean, he still has his top 8, so we can't even offer a visit yet. But once we get the hours, we can still offer him a scholarship. As we have Isaac Darisaw, the left outside linebacker, JUCO sophomore from West Bloomfield, Michigan. Purdue is ahead of us. Same prestige school, Indiana, number 2 on this list. Moving up, by the way. Rayshawn Urban, again, same thing. Number 2 on Indiana has who's number 2. Purdue, top school, has offered him already. The middle linebacker out of Chicago, Illinois. Pass coverage tendency. David Oberg, a 2-star recruit, middle linebacker from Frankfort, Illinois, JUCO sophomore. Purdue has offered him, but Indiana has actually moved up on his list, so we're now number 2. James Office, again in Purdue, ahead of us, offered him a scholarship and even has a Week 10 visit, but Indiana has moved up on his list. The middle linebacker, JUCO junior from Sterling Heights, Michigan. Then we have Dom Marshall, Indiana, number 2 on his list. Toledo has offered. I think we could try to steal him from Toledo. Shakir Pitts, the free safety high school run support stop tendency here from Brownsburg, Indiana. He's on top of our list, and we were able to offer him a scholarship. Hopefully we'll be able to land him soon. Lawrence Punga, though he is number 3 on the list, and the other 2 schools ahead of him have offered, but I still think we could try to make a move for him as he's going to as he offers for Western Michigan and Toledo. The free safety from Goodrich, Michigan. Tendency to play zone. We're number 3. We're moving up on that list, so if we can offer, we might become number 1. Who knows? Greg Pickering, we are number 4, and I think we might end up taking him off the list because I think Louisville might be a higher prestige than us. So I'm gonna have to look at that after this game, after I'm done doing the UCLA game, or after this episode. But we could be taking him off the list. A strong safety out of South Bend, Indiana. Wow, I cannot believe that we're actually ahead of Notre Dame actually on this list. 1 slot ahead of Notre Dame, and South Bend is his hometown, which is where Notre Dame is. Mitchell Cheeks has us as his number 1 school, moved ahead of Northwestern. Soon we'll be getting him an offer as well. We need a punter, and Brad Dalton is the guy. If we can get him from the punter from Indianapolis, if we can offer him, maybe we might be able to land him and keep him away from our rivals Purdue and Kentucky you see on the list. And in case if our quarterback doesn't work out situation on top, we do have Adrian Brent. Nobody has offered him anything yet, even though Kentucky, Northwestern, Purdue, and Louisville are ahead of him, as we looked at earlier. And same thing, we added Juan Outwell just not too long ago, the JUCO wide receiver from Winnetka, Illinois, which is where the McAllister household is from Home Alone. Fun fact. 5th on his list, but nobody, Northwestern, Vandy, Illinois, or Purdue, has offered him anything yet either. And then as we looked at Marshall Roach, the wide receiver, high school from Detroit, Michigan. We're number 5 on his list, and as I said, Akron has offered him already, but we'll see. We could probably still steal him from Akron. And we will have the recruiting update after the Charlotte game coming up next week. So do keep an eye on that. Next Sunday we should have a recruiting video after this. So do keep an eye on that. Next time you'll hear from me, we'll be having the Indiana at UCLA Big Ten opener for both teams. And for UCLA, it is their Big Ten debut, hosting Indiana at the Rose Bowl. So that should be a fun game. Do please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you are new to this channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notifications when these videos do drop. And also, don't forget to share this video, as it will help with the algorithm of this channel, and that would be much appreciated. Until then, you guys have a good rest of your day. Peace out, Paisan. Stay safe, everyone, and enjoy this series.